Hello everyone, and welcome to Crafted Creations. Today's video, we're going to go ahead and make a Star Wars Black Series custom of Snoop Dogg from the Mount Westmore Big Subwoofer music video. In that video, he wears a custom pair of Mandalorian armor that is mostly a mix between the Mandalorian's Din Djarin and Boba Fett. So we're going to go ahead and use those two figures for our base, and we're going to do a kit bash here. We're going to go ahead and mix and match the parts there to come up with something really cool. The finishing touch, we're going to use a 3D printed head, an unhelmeted version of this figure. We're going to go ahead and paint the helmet as well. We'll figure something out to see if that'll be wearable, but otherwise it'll just be an accessory accent piece for the finished product. So to get started with this, we're going to go ahead and want to watch my boil and pop video that is on the channel. I'll go ahead and link that here. If you haven't watched that video yet, that tells you just exactly and shows you how to take apart these action figures here. These ones gonna be a little different because of the butterfly joints, so once I get that figured out, I will share with you just how to go about taking those apart the best way. But go ahead and watch that video, learn about the boil and pop method, and use that to go ahead and start disassembling. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we went ahead and boiled and popped these figures apart. It was much easier than originally anticipated. If you notice, these are mix and matched. I've already went ahead and attached the joints back to each one. But this one is going to be the base for our Snoop Dogg Mandalorian custom for this video. This is a Mandalorian custom that I was able to make out of the scrap pieces. I'm going to save this one for another video here in the future. But with this one, I'm thinking maybe a Star Wars 1313 Boba Fett from the concept art of that canceled video game. The pieces, leftover pieces, look very, very similar, and I think with a little bit of work we could actually get something pretty close to that concept art and make a really cool custom out of that one as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of him, and with this one, gonna have to figure out something else for the legs on this particular figure. Looks like the Snoop Dogg Mandalorian custom armor is a mix of Boba Fett's chest armor, the Din Djarin Mandalorian shoulder bells, and the gauntlets. The legs look like the thigh plates are also Din Djarin. Couldn't quite tell from the concept art if it was the Beskar version or the Season 1 version, but for this, I've got the Season 1 Mandalorian action figure, Black Series figure handy, so I'm going to use that one. May not be 100% accurate, but I think as you'll see by the time we're done with this custom, it's going to look pretty darn close, and I think I'll be happy with it by the time that's said and done, and in the end, that's really all that matters. But for the legs, I'm going to have to figure out something. I think the shin plates on the Snoop Dogg armor may possibly be the Jango Fett style, but I don't have a extra Jango Fett figure handy at the moment, so I'm going to figure something out for that and let you know what I use when we get to that point. But and when we get to the end, I've got a couple very special accessories that we're going to go ahead and add to this figure as well that'll definitely kind of tie in that Snoop Dogg feel. So let's go ahead and get started. So I went ahead and came up with a solution for the leg piece. I'm going to go ahead and use a 3D printed file for the legs and the feet. This is a file that I had for the Republic Commando, which has very similar armor pieces in some portion to the Mandalorian. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. We're going to go ahead and attach the feet to the bottom there. But before I do that, we're going to go ahead and give it a base coat here. We're going to go ahead and spray paint this one. I don't have an airbrush, and for armor pieces, I like those to be nice and smooth. Gold paint, hand painting gold doesn't tend to typically work too well, and a lot of times the brush strokes really shine through. So I'm going to use spray paint for this one. What I'm going to go ahead and use is a Rust-Oleum paint and primer. I'm going to go ahead and give that a nice coat across the whole figure, and then I'm going to come in and touch up all the other details afterwards. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and get a nice coat of gold. So now that we have our gold base coat laid down with the spray paint there, we're going to go ahead and start filling in a base coat for all of the flight suit underneath. For this, I'm going to go ahead and use Apple Barrel Jet Black. After we get this base coat, I'm going to go ahead and seal it. Then we're going to do a little bit of touch-ups on there, seal it again, and then we'll go ahead and layer the final coats on. But while this is drying, I'm going to go ahead and start painting up the cape. We're going to go ahead and use our purple iris apple barrel. So now that we've got the main part of the colorway done here, we've got the black flak vest laid out, black gloves, and we've got the purple flight suit. We're going to go ahead and start working on some of the smaller details. I'm going to go ahead and use this elephant gray from Apple Barrel. In the music video, Snoop Dogg's flight suit has some gray striping that goes down along the sleeve here. And then you can also see a little bit of stitching lines on the side of the flak vest that kind of run along the sides there. So we're going to go ahead and try to get those little details in as nice as possible. Add a little bit more texture to this figure so it isn't just the flat gold, purple, and black. We're going to try to add those little touches that's really going to make this figure pop and give us a much better finished product. go ahead and let that dry, and when we come back, we'll go ahead and start painting up the girth belt here. For that, we're going to use this chestnut, and I'm going to mix that with a little bit of the gray here. That should hopefully get us pretty close to that beige color. So we'll be back here in just a second. Alright, so let's go ahead and start mixing that beige here. I'm going to use a little bit of the chestnut brown from Apple Barrel. I'm going to go ahead and use a medium-sized brush, and then we're going to take some of this gray, scoop that in there. Go ahead and scoop some more of this gray. And there, we'll do one more little drop of brown. That'll really separate the color from the gray stripes on his vest. And we can just start laying that right along the top there. Dry, and then we'll come back and do a couple more touch-ups on the belt and the holster. Let's go ahead and use our chestnut. So now let's go ahead and work on the helmet here. Now, the helmet on the Snoop Mandalorian has a unique, let's say, leaf-shaped design on the helmet. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and get some more of our jet black. Alright, so now that we've got the helmet done, let's go ahead and start our base coat for Snoop Dogg's face. We're going to go ahead and use a medium brush for this one. Now for this, I am going to mix our chestnut brown and our chocolate bar apple barrel. And there you have it, the Snoop Dogg Mandalorian from Mount Westmore's Big Subwoofer music video. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it, and please don't forget to leave a comment down below and like and subscribe for more content, and as always folks, stay crafty.